believe I'm telling this story. I thought I would keep it to myself for always, for until I die. But something happened recently, and I feel like I had to share it. I worked with the Hazbin Hotel crew. I wasn't an animator, I was just a writer. I came up with a few episodes here and there with Vizzy, but nothing too big. But then I came up with a grand episode. I spent hours and hours on the script, only for everyone to hate it. My idea? Angel's death. Yes, I know, quite a dark topic, but I wanted season 1 to end with an absolute shocker. Everyone's favorite character was Angel, well, the majority of people, especially after they made that song Poison, and many other songs like it. As we already had 2 complete Angel Dust songs, I wanted to make this different. I wanted to make this special, to truly show how bad Angel's life was, and to show how Charlie failed him, and how Charlie will go off on the V's in season 2. So I worked and worked and worked. As I worked on the script, though, I started to have dreams of it, dreams of Angel dying over and over in my head, but I ignored them. As I presented it to Vizzy, and they all said it was too dark. They appreciated the idea, and came up with the idea of Angel being kidnapped and abused, but not destroyed. But I kept arguing that Angel had to die, otherwise it wouldn't be impactful, but they kept disagreeing with me. After that, I began to lose sleep, and became angry for some reason. Always a nice guy, who did whatever it took, and I always showed up to work on time, but I started to show up later and later. At first, it was barely anything, just 5 minutes. Not really anything to write home about. So insignificant that no one really cared. But then it was 10 minutes, and 30 minutes, and then hours. As they started to get worried about me, and of course started to write me up. Until eventually, they had enough. As I sat down and talked with my employers. As they noticed that I wasn't working as hard as I used to, and began to act strange. They assumed I was on a substance. They tested me but couldn't find anything. But even so, they still asked me to leave. How I was living, I left. And I left to write in my script. As my script was important to me, I wanted to finish this episode, make it better, improve it. As I worked and worked and worked, I barely ate, I barely slept. I didn't even look for a new job. I had some money saved up, but I couldn't last that long. However, I didn't care. All I needed to do was write. As I wrote more and more and more, trying to make the perfect episode, trying to make the perfect cinema, the perfect piece that anyone could watch. As I just kept on writing more and more, adding more details to Angel's death. Oh, I guess I should tell you my script. Well, here it goes, I suppose. The script that started it all, the script that sent me into this spiral. The story would begin like this. Angel went to Val. It was gonna be the last episode after Adam was defeated. One last one. As Angel went to him, Angel and Valentina would work just like in normal, as nothing out of the ordinary would happen. But then Angel would start to walk back, as suddenly a chain would appear around his neck. Angel would look at Val and say, "What are you doing?" Valentina would laugh and say, "Don't you remember? I own you in the studio, but only in the studio. So now that we're in the studio, I just won't let you leave." As then Valentina would pull Angel back and begin to chain him up. Angel would scream and beg for help, but nothing would happen. As then Valentina would laugh and, well, have his fun. As more days would pass, he would hope that his friends would come for him, hope that his friends would be there, but they never showed up, as he was abandoned. Angel laid there in chains. As years passed, as he was nothing more than a toy now, only let loose to film. As his sadness, as his depression grew more and more and more, people would walk across from him, people would talk to him, but they would act like he wasn't even there. As Angel just stood there, sitting there, becoming more and more depressed, Val broke him, and he was Valentino's perfect toy. However, someone would actually come to help him in a very twisted way. It was Vox. Vox was, well, he was jealous. He was jealous of all the time Valentino spent with Angel. He wanted that to himself. He wanted to be with Valentino. As he looked down at Angel, it was pathetic and pitiful. As Vox would say, "You really don't realize it?" Angel would say, "What?" As then he would start to laugh. To Angel, it seemed like it was years, but in actuality, it wasn't. They put a special time zone around the room. In actuality, it's only been a few minutes. People would definitely come for him. They care about Angel. However, to him, he didn't know that. Valentino wanted to break his spirit, so he would agree to stay here forever, truly breaking him, using an eternity as an excuse. However, Vox didn't want him to have an eternity with Angel, so he would throw him a knife and say, "Free yourself." As Angel would pick it up, he wouldn't be able to cut his chains, but he would be able to cut something else, as he would hold the knife up to himself. And right before he did it, the episode would end. As that was my plan. But they didn't like it, and it pissed me off. My house was coming overdue, so I just sold it and lived out on the road, making no money, as I just worked on the script again and again and again, trying to make it perfect, trying to make it beautiful, so then I can make it myself, and maybe people will see it, and I can take over the show. It didn't make any sense in retrospect, but I was too driven, too focused to think about that. Rewrote it over and over again for days. Some changes weren't even that big. They were just minor, like where Angel walked, what he said during this time, and even changing it to where it would show where Angel ended it. Everything seemed perfect. Everything seemed so much better now, so much more pure, so much more out there. As I would rent a motel for a few days, as I would try to make it with claymation, a little stop motion. I thought that could make it better. As I used this over and over again, I finally made the video. And as I watched it, it was terrible. It was awful. It looked disgusting. Everything I made was for nothing. But it was the perfect script. If I could just animate, if I could just claymate, if I could do anything, I kept telling myself. As I read it over and over again, I start to realize how bad it was. I was just a bad writer the whole time. I felt hopeless. I felt trapped as I would begin to walk out. So then I decided to do something. I decided to write it all down. Write down how I was feeling, to write down who I was, to write down everything. And that is where we meet you. Whoever found this, whoever's listened to this, whoever can hear this or see this, I don't know. I might make some recordings of this story. But thank you for stumbling by. I'm just an inspiring writer. Wanted this episode to be famous. Wanted it to be popular. Wanted it to spread out. But it was just too dark. And I guess at the end, I couldn't really do much. Maybe I was a bad writer in the first place. After all, I really didn't have a big role in a lot of the episodes. I did write things here and there, but without me, would the show even care? Would season 1 look the exact same? Or maybe even be better without me hindering it? I don't know. But I have a solution. Ironically, I got it from what I wrote. Thinking about Angel, I was thinking about Charlie. I was thinking about all the things that I wrote, the show that I was on. And I gave it all up just for a stupid script. And now my money's starting to run dry. I could try to get a job as a writer somewhere else, but that would take a long time. So I decide just to end this now. As I grab a knife just like Angel did, and I pull it up. And that's exactly when I stopped telling the story. Did I do it? Did I not do it? I guess you'll never know. That's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends. I'm okay, guys. That's just a story. Every once in a while, I'll do a creepypasta. I think they're cool. I think they might be, they have they're kind of similar to a What If, but not really. A creepypasta is just like a scary story about it. I've thought about doing creepypasta about other shows and maybe my own unique ones. I don't know if you guys will be down for that, though. If so, let me know down in the comments below. Hope you all enjoyed this video, because I know I did. It was a great video to make. It was dark, it was, twisted. I wanted something to be different. I wanted, how there's always, some writer was, mentally ill and wrote something. I wanted to be a story about the writer, about why they wrote it, about how it drove them mad, and where you can see where they're coming from. I mean, technically it wasn't made into an episode, so the title might have been a little bit misleading, but you know what? You get what you get sometimes. It wasn't fully clickbait, I guess. So, I don't know. I don't think... Do you think I clickbaited you? Are you mad at me? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah. What more creepypastas would you like to see in the future? And what other shows would you like to see in the future? Because I'm still watching My Hero. I think about adding that might be cool. I'm already doing Dragon Ball. I might do a few one-off Dragon Ball ones just to see how they do. That might be fun. And yeah, what else? I try to do Star Wars, but every time I try to do that, the views don't go well, so I just kind of stop. I did Cell in Star Wars. I did other stuff in Star Wars. So maybe I'm just missing something. I don't know. But yeah, but Star Wars videos do really well. Maybe I just don't have a Star Wars fan base. So that's what it is. But I don't know. But yeah, if you guys know what the issue is, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being part of my community. It all really, really does mean the world to me that you're here. It really does mean the world to me that I have a fan base like you. It's amazing when stuff like this just comes together. It really just is. And yeah, I started this channel like a year ago. Pretty soon it might be 2 years once it's New Year's. Well, it will be 2 years. I don't know why I said might be, but yeah, that's crazy, man. In 2 years we got about 8,000 subs. Hopefully we'll have 10,000 by then, more than 10,000. I don't know where we'll be at by then, but I hope my channel will still be growing. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. I know I said this before, but if anyone didn't tell you this, I want to tell you I love you. And thank you for being with me. It really means a lot. Peace out.